Good, beautiful morning, everybody. I'm Noah. Welcome to Madison Angling. I'm out fishing with my buddy Jim this morning. We are on Lake Michigan. We are chasing king salmon. We already have one in the boat. We just hooked up on our second fish in the morning here, a big old 4-year-old on a wire diver. I'm gonna run through our setup here. It's just 2 of us today, so we're running 6 lines. I'm gonna show you guys what we're running, kind of how we're doing it, and hopefully catch a few more of these and hopefully land this one. We've had this one on for a minute now, and it's a big fish, so I'd really like to land this one. So welcome back, guys. Let's do it. Let's catch some fish. Fish, 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 fish. Coho. Okay. Hopefully that's the smallest fish we catch today. Yeah. Okay. They only get bigger, people. They only get bigger. But little king salmon. We got all the fins intact too. That's a wild fish. Pretty neat. Probably born in Michigan, swam all the way to Wisconsin, and now I'm gonna eat it. So we'll back our drag off and we'll let the drag feed this wire out. We want to keep lots of tension on this as it goes down. So that's our spread here. So we've got a braid dipsy on a 2.5 setting. I've got this one 120 feet on the braid. I've got my wire diver on a 1.5 setting. I'm gonna run this one 120 as well. However, this one's gonna go a little bit deeper than the braid. I've got a downrigger here. I've got it down 60 feet. I don't remember what flasher fly I have on there. We've got our other downrigger at 40 feet with a secret weapon rig, which is 2 colors or 20 yards of lead core off the end of the mono, which is going to get it down a little bit deeper, about 10 feet below the ball. So this should be about 50-ish feet down or so. We've got another wire diver here, also at 120, and I've got a braid diver at 50 with a stubby dodger to see if we can't run into a couple cohos or something. I'm probably going to switch that out for another 8-inch paddle here. We're keeping the boat right around 2.2 to 2.5 miles an hour. With the waves we have today, it's a little bit tricky keeping our speed consistent. There's a lot of other boats over here and they really like cutting everybody off. So boat control has been a little bit silly this morning, but that fish ate in about 80 feet of water. Right now we're in 112, so we're gonna start sliding back in, see if we can't get another bite up shallow. Finally hooked up on a big king. That was a crazy run. We have a bunch of boats around us here, so we're gonna try to be real careful, but yeah, dude, that's a real one. That's more like it.
Oh, he's way out there.
How you feeling there, Jim?
Feeling good. It's been quite the fight so far. Got a nice fish on here.
That's a real one.
We're really not making any ground on him.
That's good.
Try and tucker him out here, I guess.
All right, guys, we finally got him coming into the back of the boat. I'm gonna switch over to just my chesty here. Hopefully this all kind of works out footage-wise. Oh yeah, big fish. Easy. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Got him. Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Hell yeah. Woo!
Alrighty, we got her. That is a beautiful 4-year-old king on the Salmon Candy Megatron. That thing's been hot. And a little boy blue and aqua Howie fly. Hell yeah, dude. That is a sweet fish, man.
That's awesome. I'm so tired.
That was sick. Awesome. Yep, that's been a really hot flasher the last couple years, especially this year. That one's been really, really good. So that was on a wire diver on a 1.5 setting, 120 feet up line on the counter, and about 80 feet of water. So we'll get that hook popped, take a closer look at this thing. That is what we are after today, guys. Big, mature king salmon. He's burping at us. I get it, buddy. Nice fish, dude. That's awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna get a few pictures of this thing, throw it in the box before it gets all ugly, and we'll get that line back out. It is a little bit sporty this morning, so if our camera works a little weird, that's why. That's my excuse. Hell yeah, dude. Good start.
Hell yeah.
So as we're trolling along here, not catching anything, we're about to though, something just showed up on the graph. Figured I'd take a second to run through flashers and picking colors, right? Where do you start? We have all these crazy colors, all these different flashers, all these different tapes and stuff on them and flies. Where do you start, right? Where do you even begin? So general rule of thumb, and I will preface this by saying, it seems like it changes all the time, but there's always some that kind of stand out as kind of staples in everybody's arsenal, right? And I'll talk about a few of those here. So generally speaking, as the season starts out, kind of late May and June, if you're targeting king salmon, often it seems kind of the silver, so the chrome blades. This is just an 8-inch paddle. I use a lot of these. These are pretty common. An 8-inch paddle with kind of your blues, and light greens seem to be kind of the go-to, as well as your fly. So early season, a lot of these kind of lighter sort of blue flies seem to work well. This is a little boy blue with a little aqua in it. This is a Howie fly. And then as we get into July and August, the greens kind of start to take over a little bit. So we have kind of these greens and blues, green and purple. Not really sure why that is, but it does seem to be the case. Now, that being said, these blues, kind of these iridescent blues, they work all season long. So you could literally put a little boy blue on pretty much any of your flashers, and there's a good chance you'll continue to catch fish on it all season long. Generally speaking, blue flies early in the summer, green as it starts to go on, and I know somebody's gonna argue about that in the comments. Yeah, and it changes all the time, right? We all have our confidence colors. So how do you pair up a fly with a flasher, right? For me, I'm kind of looking for similar colors, right? If I've got some greens in my flasher, I probably want a little bit of green in my fly. If I got some blues in my flasher, I probably want a little bit of blue in my fly. If you're running something like a white flasher, like a just crushed glow tape white paddle like this one, which is something I usually run a little bit later in the year. We're marking a bunch of fish right now. Something like this, you could run pretty much whatever you want to. The paddle's pretty neutral, so if you want to run greens or blues, doesn't matter, it works just fine. All right, so your tape colors change on all these, right? There's all kinds of different colors of tapes on these blades, but one of the things I try to pay attention to more so than just the tape is actually the color of the paddle. So there we go, fish. So anyway, before we were so rudely interrupted, feels like a big coho. There's several different colors of blades. So we have our chromes, which are pretty common. We have white paddles, which tend to get a little bit more, a little bit more action as we get into mid to late summer. White is kind of an aggressive color for salmon. So as we get into that mid to late July and then into August, September, that's when the whites really stand out. Green is also another really good color. Greens don't seem to get as much love as the chromes do and the whites, but you should always have a couple of greens on hand. And there's even black blades as well. I don't use a lot of blacks. I use mostly whites, silvers, and greens. And I'll be honest, I only have a handful of green paddles. So I'm working on expanding my arsenal and getting some more of these different colors in it. But for the most part, it just kind of comes down to try it, right? And ask people. Don't be afraid to ask and see what other people are using. What's fun about salmon fishing, guys, these fish don't get educated. They get caught once and they're dead, right? Jeez, this is a decent fish. So don't be super worried about conditioning fish because they get caught once and they're dead, right? But also because of that, because this is really a put and take fishery, most people are very open with information. So if you run into people at the dock, especially if they obviously had a good day, ask them, hey, where were you fishing? What colors were you using? Most of the time, people are more than willing to share that information. Hell yeah, that's a nice coho. That's a really nice coho. Cool. By no means have we been banging on them today, guys, but the few we're getting are pretty nice. We'll take that. Real nice coho. That's probably like a, I don't know, 8-pounder or so. All right. Just a little butterball of a coho. Beautiful fish. So anyway, there you go. Coho, neat. Boom, ba boom. Or coho. Ah, might be a little king actually. Keep him over there. That's a, I don't know what that is yet. That's a king. Oh boy, we are on the giant kings today, guys. We got one big one. Quick little biology fish ID lesson. The way you know it's a king is because of the way it is. No, what we're looking for is black on the inside of the mouth, but also the tail has spots all over the whole thing. Cohos will have spots on the top lobe. Kings have spots on the whole thing. So, cute little fish. It's gonna taste real good. Not the 30-pounder we're after, but screw it. All right, we suck, we give up, we just pulled all the lines. It was kind of a crappy morning, to be totally honest. I'm blaming it on Jim, but we got one good bite, we got a few nice fish. I don't know how many we got in there, 5?
Something like that.
Something like that, I don't know. We had a few hours to kill this morning. I don't get a lot of time to just come out and screw around, so wanted to come out, see if we couldn't get a couple big kings. We got one, but that was pretty much it. So a little bit of a slow morning today, so we're gonna roll in, go clean some fish. We got some other stuff to do today. Anyway, guys, I don't know. This wasn't my best work, not my best video by any means.
It's totally my fault. This lake hates me.
It does, but
Continues to, but we made some improvements today.
yeah,
Nice fish.
yeah, hell yeah. Those are really nice fish on the wire dipsy. So yeah, not my most exciting salmon video ever, but it's better than nothing, guys. So if you guys have more suggestions, or if you guys have things you want to learn more about, drop them down in the comments. I'd be happy to do that. We're gonna keep the shop talk stuff going here, but I want to focus it a little more on the Great Lakes stuff. I've definitely fallen in love with this over the last several years, and now that I get to bring people out to do it, I'm even more in love with it. So drop some comments below. Let me know what you guys want to learn more about. Let's talk about it. Until then, we'll see you on the next video. I don't think it's recording. Did you hit record?
Hello. We are live. In 3, 2, 1.
So as we're trolling along here, not catching anything,